rise for the pledge. Pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Councilmember Irby? Here. Councilmember Page?
Here.
Councilmember Fitch?
Here.
Councilmember Gray?
Present.
Councilmember Clancy? Here. Councilmember Trakas?
Present.
Councilmember Harder?
Here.
Mr. Chair, we have a quorum.
I move for approval of the journal of the meeting of January 29, 2019.
I just have one correction.
Yes, go ahead.
On page 15, item number 19, under other communications, it was just a typo on the year. It said January 1, 2019. It should say January 1, 2010. And Jen and I have talked about this, and it'll be corrected on the...
Correct, Mr. Chair, it's been corrected in all the other versions. The only mistakes are the ones that were distributed earlier today in the official copy that you'll be signing tonight, and it's been corrected in that.
in the journal.
Okay, so we'll recognize that correction in the motion then.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We have no bid openings this evening, so we'll move to communications.
Mr. Chair, we have no tax compromises, zoning matters, or road and bridge matters this evening. So we'll move to other communications. Under other communications, item number 1.
Receive, file, and the county council will be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation. Same motion for item number 2. And that will be the order.
Item number 3, second district.
Receive, file, and deposit agreement and subdivision plat be approved as recommended.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 4.
Receive and file, and that will be the order.
Item number 5, second district.
Receive, file, and the county council be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation, and I'd like to be a co-sponsor.
You are the sponsor, and I will co-sponsor, and that will be the order. Any other council members that want to be on that, please let the clerk know. Next item.
Item 7.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
You can call the next item.
Oh, sorry, I was making notes, Mr. Chair. Item number 6, seventh district.
Receive, file, and the county council be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation.
So ordered. Jen, do we have those to introduce tonight? Those 2 bills, are they available for introduction?
I haven't even looked at the payout yet. They are.
Okay, thanks.
The deputy knows more than me, and she's...
Great, thank you.
Item number 7, fourth district.
Receive, file, and the county council be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation. Same motion for item number 8.
So ordered.
Item number 9.
Receive, file, and the county council be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation. Same motion for 10 and 11, and that will be the order.
Item number 12.
At the request of the department, we will hold on the agenda, and that will be the order.
Item number 13.
Receive, file, and the county council be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation, and that will be the order.
Item number 14, all districts.
Receive, file, same motion for item number 15, and that will be the order.
No add-ons this evening, Mr. Chair.
The report of the county executive.
Nothing further this evening.
Report of special committees.
Please hold on the order of business.
So ordered. Public forum.
We have 3 speakers this evening, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Please come to the podium when your name is called. Adjust the microphone so we can pick up your comments for the record. Give us your name and address, and please try to keep your remarks to 3 minutes.
First speaker this evening is Izora Liggins.
Good evening. Izora Liggins, 5320 Bermuda. When I came before you on the 22nd, I asked Mr. Crane's office if there was a reason why that after all I had been through and I had came and discussed my problems before this council, and he knew the problems I was having in the prosecuting attorney's office, that his office would ultimately end up representing Mr. McGee. And I asked him to withdraw, and I asked him at the January 22nd meeting, if that was not possible, could he explain why? But my question to this council is, if we can spend money to defend people that work in our government agencies that are working out of the scope of their employment, and then we as taxpayers have to take these people into court just to get legitimate answers. And then we find out that our government, our council, is providing a defense for the very people who are infringing upon our benefits and our rights. It doesn't seem fair to me. So my question is, if we can afford to pay for the defense of Mr. McGee, I'm requesting the council pay for my defense. And that is my request. Chairman Page, nothing to say.
I'm sorry, Zora. I know we've discussed your issue a few times, and
Executive Stinger. I mean, this man here was clearly not even doing his job. He was acting like he was an attorney, impersonating an attorney in the prosecuting attorney's office. And then we defend him on the taxpayer's dollar? I take issue with that, and I would think everybody sitting up there on the council should. But thank you.
thanks, Zora.
Next speaker is Zaki Baruti.
Good evening. My name is Zaki Baruti. I reside at 812 Saxony Court in New City, and I'm here to represent the organization, Universal African Peoples Organization, as well as speaking on behalf of Coalition Against Police Crimes and Repression, headed by co-chair John Chasnoff, and also NAACP, Adolphus Pruitt, who's supposed to have been here. But back in January, I was here again raising the whole issue of a civilian oversight board and calling upon the members here to at least put it on the ballot as to whether for the citizens of St. Louis County to make a decision as it relates to the establishment of a civilian oversight board. But also I want to just make an apology, because at the last board meeting, it was my impression everyone had received a copy of our proposal, and I found out some of you did not. So I'm here to first of all say I apologize. And secondly, though, I understand that each one should have it by now. And if not, I do have a copy I'm going to leave with the secretary in terms of our proposal. And we're asking you to review it. We're willing to meet with a number of you, all of you, around the issue so that we can submit it to the citizens. Because as you know, not only in St. Louis County, but throughout the nation, there's been issues with police and especially the black community. And so to help move things forward in a progressive manner, we're saying this is a methodology that can help alleviate some of those issues. So to that issue again, I'm here to make the appeal. And the last time I was here, it was, I think, a day or two on Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday, celebrating the 90th birthday. As you know, April 4th is coming up, which is his assassination date. And in his spirit, I would hope you would have had enough time to review it. And in his spirit, on April I believe it would be the 2nd, the county council vote to place it on the ballot for the upcoming, wherever it's the nearest election. In the proposal, we had originally tried to have it for this year, but of course we didn't meet the deadline, so you'll just make the adjustment on the date in the proposal. So to that end, that's why I'm again appealing to you. So that's it.
Thank you.
Final speaker this evening is Leanne Frisch.
Ann Fritsch, University City. 3 weeks ago, several of us volunteers with St. Louis County Animal Control spoke before this council, and Councilman TRAKAS expressed his impatience that for over a year we have been raising concerns and he motioned for a hearing on the issue. Originally, we thought the hearing was going to be held early this month, even this week, but are now uncertain if it is even going to be held in February. We appreciate the work Councilwoman Clancy's assistant Sarah and Councilman Harder's assistant Chris are putting into this issue and are trying to be respectful of your time. So I am the only one speaking tonight instead of the 30 people we could have brought before you. But in the meantime, things are getting worse at animal control. More animals are needlessly suffering and dying while the incompetence demonstrated by those in charge continues to increase. Just yesterday, according to correspondence I received from the Missouri Department of Agriculture, I found out St. Louis County Animal Control is currently operating without a license. February 1st, I sent an open records request to Missouri Department of Ag. Yesterday, I received a response which states in part, we have no records indicating St. Louis County Animal Care and Control have renewed their license. As a result, they are currently operating without a license. And I have copies of that correspondence if any of you would like that. This is the second year in a row that AC has failed to renew its license on time. The license lapsed and they are operating without a license. Meeting annual license and reporting requirements is the responsibility of the director, and this latest failure demonstrates a complete lack of competence. It should be noted the interim director was involved in shelter operations last year under the former director, who county executive fired but failed to do so during the probationary period, so taxpayers shelled out $150,000 for a settlement this past November. As was stated 3 weeks ago, the interim director needs to be reassigned and new leadership is needed now. We also just learned yesterday that Animal Control has been falsely claiming they can't transfer sick animals to rescue per Department of Ag rules when there is no such rule. Due to an incident in December when a sick dog was transferred out of state to a rescue without disclosing the illness, the Department of Ag issued County AC a warning, but as long as the rescues are in state and full disclosure is made concerning the illness, there are no prohibitions, yet animals have been needlessly suffering and dying when rescues were ready to take them these last several weeks. The current leadership at County AC does not have the experience or commitment necessary to run a shelter. We are asking that the hearing be held as soon as possible. And in closing, I want to bring your attention to a Riverfront Times article entitled, County Animal Control Staffed by Underqualified, Overpaid Incompetence. But this isn't a new article. It was published November 19th, 2010. So this issue is an ongoing dysfunctional mess, and I hope we can get this resolved soon. Thank you.
Introduction of bills.
Bill number 35, introduced by Councilmember Page, an ordinance appropriating and setting apart the amount of $832,338 from the unappropriated balances of various funds for supportive projects not completed in 2018. Bill number 36, introduced by Councilmember Page, an ordinance approving acceptance of donation of $1,475 from Youth in Need and appropriating same for support of a summer culinary program for youth involved with the family court. Bill number 37, introduced by Councilmember Page, an ordinance authorizing the county executive on behalf of St. Louis County, Missouri, to execute affiliation agreements with St. Louis University and with Washington University for supervised practicum experience for Masters of Social Work students. Bill number 38, introduced by Councilmember Page, an ordinance appropriating and setting apart the sum of $910,853 from the unappropriated balance of the general fund for support of business manager positions in the Department of Information Technology. Bill number 39, introduced by Councilmember Harder, an ordinance appropriating and setting apart the sum of $142,025.34 from the unappropriated balance of the general fund for support of various cybersecurity functions of the Department of Information Technology. Mr. Chair, that is all the bills.
Thank you. Perfection.
Bill number 270, introduced by Councilmember Wassinger for Councilmember Tracas.
Please hold on the order of business.
So ordered.
Bill number 17, introduced by Councilmember Fitch.
Please hold on the order of business.
Bill 17 is held.
Bill number 20, introduced by Councilmember Harder.
Please hold.
Bill number 20 is held.
Bill number 21, introduced by Councilmember Harder.
Please hold.
Bill number 21 is held.
Bill number 25, introduced by Councilmember Page.
Move to perfect Bill number 25.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Bill number 25 is perfected.
Bill number 26, introduced by Councilmember Page.
Move to perfect Bill number 26.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Bill number 26 is perfected.
Bill number 27, introduced by Councilmember Page.
Move to perfect Bill number 27.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. 27 is perfected.
Bill number 28, introduced by Councilmember Page.
Move to perfect Bill number 28.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed?
Nay.
Motion carries. Bill number 28 is perfected.
Bill number 29, introduced by Councilmember Tracas.
Move to perfect Bill number 29, please.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Bill number 29 is perfected.
Bill number 30, introduced by Councilmember Page.
Move to perfect Bill number 30.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Bill number 30 is perfected.
Bill number 31, introduced by Councilmember Fitch.
I move to perfect Bill number 31.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Bill number 31 is perfected.
Bill number 32, introduced by Councilmember Fitch.
I move to perfect Bill number 32.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Bill number 32 is perfected.
Bill number 33, introduced by Councilmember Fitch.
I move to perfect Bill number 33.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Bill number 33 is perfected.
Bill number 34, introduced by Councilmember Fitch.
I move to perfect Bill number 34.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Bill number 34 is perfected. Final passage.
Bill number 339, introduced by Councilmembers Walton, Gray, and Page.
I
Michelle,
move.
did we hold this? We have a issue. Sorry, I just found out about it.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I move to hold Bill number 339.
339 will be held.
Bill number 10, introduced by Councilmember Page. Mr. Chair, we have a substitute bill.
Please read the substitute.
Substitute Bill number 1 for Bill number 10, introduced by Councilmember Page. An ordinance authorizing the county executive to execute a contract and up to 2 renewals with March and McClellan Agency LLC for employee benefits consulting services.
Move adoption of substitute Bill number 1 for Bill number 10.
Second.
This substitute changes the name of the contract to reflect the parent company of the employee benefit consulting service. All in favor of adoption of substitute number 1, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Substitute Bill number 1 for Bill number 10 is adopted. Does anyone object to final passage tonight of the substitute? It's been on the agenda for a while. Okay. All in favor of final passage of substitute Bill number 1 for Bill number 10? I make a motion to finally pass substitute Bill number 1 for Bill number 10.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Erby?
Aye.
Councilmember Page?
Aye.
Councilmember Fitch?
Aye.
Councilmember Gray?
Aye.
Councilmember Clancy?
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus?
Aye.
Councilmember Harder?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, on substitute Bill number 1 for Bill number 10, there are 7 ayes.
Substitute Bill number 1 for Bill number 10 is finally passed.
Bill number 18, introduced by Councilmember Page.
Move for final passage of Bill number 18.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Erby?
Aye.
Councilmember Page?
Aye.
Councilmember Fitch?
Aye.
Councilmember Gray?
Aye.
Councilmember Clancy?
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus?
Aye.
Councilmember Harder?
No.
Mr. Chair, on Bill number 18, there are 6 ayes and 1 no.
Bill number 18 is finally passed.
Bill number 22, introduced by Councilmember Page.
Move for final passage of Bill number 22.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Erby?
Aye.
Councilmember Page?
Aye.
Councilmember Fitch?
Aye.
Councilmember Gray?
Aye.
Councilmember Clancy?
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus?
Aye.
Councilmember Harder?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, on Bill number 22, there are 7 ayes.
Bill number 22 is finally passed.
Bill number 23, introduced by Councilmember Walton Gray for Councilmember Erby and Councilmember Walton Gray.
Sam? Shuffle. What do you add as your name? Councilmember.
Okay, I move for final passage of bill number 23.
Second. Roll call.
Councilmember Erby?
Aye.
Councilmember Page?
Aye.
Councilmember Fitch?
Aye.
Councilmember Gray?
Aye.
Councilmember Clancy?
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus?
Aye.
Councilmember Harder?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, on bill number 23, there are 7 ayes.
Bill number 23 is finally passed.
Bill number 24, introduced by Councilmember Page.
Move for final passage of bill number 24.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Erby?
Aye.
Councilmember Page?
Aye.
Councilmember Fitch?
Aye.
Councilmember Gray?
Aye.
Councilmember Clancy?
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus?
Aye.
Councilmember Harder?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, on bill number 24, there are 7 ayes.
Bill number 24 is finally passed.
Moving on to resolutions, we have 3 this evening, Mr. Chair. Resolution number 1, introduced by Councilmember Clancy.
I move for adoption of resolution number 1.
And I'd like to be co-sponsored, if you don't mind.
And this is a resolution to honor the women who organized the 2019 St. Louis Women's March and the St. Louis in Action Fair.
Second.
Roll call.
Roll call.
Councilmember Erby?
Aye.
Councilmember Page?
Aye.
Councilmember Fitch?
Aye.
Councilmember Gray?
Aye.
Councilmember Clancy?
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus?
Aye.
Councilmember Harder?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, on resolution number 1, there are 7 ayes.
Resolution number 1 is adopted.
Resolution number 2, introduced by Councilmember Walton Gray.
I move for the adoption of resolution number 2.
Second. Roll call.
Councilmember Erby?
Aye.
Councilmember Page?
Aye.
Councilmember Fitch?
Aye.
Councilmember Gray?
Aye.
Councilmember Clancy?
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus?
Aye.
Councilmember Harder?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, on resolution number 2, there are 7 ayes.
Resolution number 2 is adopted.
Resolution number 3, introduced by Councilmember Erby.
Could you read my resolution, please? Number 3.
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry, I'm pulling a copy. Resolution number 3, introduced by Councilmember Erby. Resolution, whereas Demetrius Stewart came into this world nearly 46 years ago, was raised in University City, and graduated from University City High School and the University of Missouri, where he was a member of Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity. And whereas Demetrius married Shantana 20 years ago, and together they lovingly raised 2 children who are now teenagers. And whereas Demetrius worked for the Department of Veterans Affairs and also served his community as an associate minister at Westside Missionary Baptist Church, an active member of and chaplain for his fraternity, a baseball coach for the Redbird Rookies, and a mentor and counselor to many, many young people. And whereas on February 1st, 2019, Demetrius' life was taken from us too soon in an act beyond understanding. And whereas Demetrius is remembered by family and friends as a diehard Rams fan, a brother and a friend to all he knew, and a man for whom God, his family, and his fraternity were the top priorities in his life. And whereas Demetrius continues to serve his community as an inspiration to people who never met him, to acquaintances, and to those closest to him who have vowed they will ensure his death will not be in vain. And whereas while it is nearly impossible to understand how such a tragedy could strike someone so young and vibrant, it is appropriate for the council and all St. Louis Countyans to pause to honor a life well lived by a gentleman so devoted to family, church, and community. Be it resolved by the County Council of St. Louis County, Missouri as follows. Section 1, the County Council offers deepest condolences to the family, friends, fraternity brothers, and congregants of Reverend Demetrius Stewart, a role model for all. Section 2, the Administrative Director shall send a certified copy of this resolution to Reverend Stewart's family as a token of the Council's sympathy for them and esteem for Reverend Stewart and the manner in which he lived his life.
I felt that it was, that I should have this read tonight because this young man, I knew him as a child. This is the young man who was killed at the bowling alley over the weekend. He was an innocent bystander. He was there on date night with his wife and some other friends, and someone shot him senselessly, and with a gun. And I just wanted to read this to make sure we realize the effect that guns are having on our community. This is a young man who was upstanding citizen in our community, and now his wife and 2 children are left without a father. His mother's left without a son. Our community is suffering. Our community is suffering because of the amount of guns that are in our community. I'm not saying, and I thought I'd never say this because I don't like guns, I wish nobody had them, but we're not asking to take guns away from everybody, that people can have their guns, but we certainly need to enforce laws or establish laws that control who has access to a gun. People who are mentally ill or people who have criminal records should not have access to guns. Our community is being infiltrated with guns these days, and we have to do something about that. With that, I move to adopt resolution number 3.
Roll call.
Councilmember Erby?
Aye.
Councilmember Page?
Aye.
Councilmember Fitch?
Aye.
Councilmember Gray?
Aye.
Councilmember Clancy? Aye. Councilmember Tracus?
Aye.
Councilmember Harder?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, on resolution number 3, there are 7 ayes.
Resolution number 3 is adopted.
Moving on to unfinished business, Mr. Chair, item number 1, First District.
I move, what is that?
Ceiling transfers.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it soon. Receive, file, and the county council be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation, and a copy of this report be sent to the city of University City.
So ordered.
Item number 2, First District.
Same motion.
So ordered.
Item number 3, First District.
Same motion through item number 5.
So ordered.
Item number 6.
Please hold on the order of business. Same motion through item number 7 through item number 8. These are transfers that we anticipate approving in short order as soon as we receive the plain English description of how the cuts to these budgets were implemented by the department directors.
Item number 9.
Receive, file, and appropriation transfer be approved as requested.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 10.
Same motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 11.
This one we will hold until we see the plain English description of the transfer that was, or the adjustments to the budget that were implemented, and that will be the order.
Item number 12.
Receive, file, and the appropriation be approved as requested.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 13, Third District.
I met yesterday with the officials, including the mayor from Town and Country, and they assure us that their traffic study should be done within the next month. And so at this point, we'll continue to hold on the order of business.
Thank you. So ordered.
Moving on to new business, Mr. Chair, we have 1 prepared order this evening.
I move for adoption of order number 1.
All in favor of adoption order number 1, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Jen, under new business, we have communications. We have requests for legislation from the December 18th meeting. All of those 3 items can be dropped from the December 18th request. They're not relevant anymore.
Yes, Mr. Chair, thank you.
Any other comments by council members? Yes, Councilman Fitch.
In addition to keeping in your thoughts and prayers the family of Reverend Stewart, I'd like to make the same request to keep the family of Blake Snyder in your thoughts and prayers as his family undergoes a very difficult trial this week.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, just like to say, it was encouraging to see our county executive here this evening for a short time with us. Hopefully he can stay longer, and we can talk to him a little bit like we do each other at the end of the meeting.
Well, I appreciate that. We may get there. Any other comments?
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.